if you lost a hand at work, sucks to be you, just next person come on in, you have to go home. That's capitalism. Can I expound on the ethics of treating your employees well? Well, the first thing I'll say is that, employees are people, okay? And so just because you're in a workplace doesn't necessarily mean that you don't get to treat people well. Like, let's just start there as a foundational premise, like, treat people well. And your employees, again, are people. You should treat your employees well. Now, what exactly does that mean? Clearly, over time, that definition has changed. I was actually just talking yesterday about, it just so happened, about America as some of the socialist policies of America and the way that America actually is less capitalist than I think maybe Americans think. So, for example, back in the early 1900s, there were 12-year-olds working in coal mines. If you lost a hand at work, sucks to be you, just next person come on in, you have to go home. That's capitalism, right? Like, no protections for the worker, no minimum wage, no unemployment benefits, no workers' safety laws whatsoever, no unions, no antitrust laws. So in the early 1900s, the United States and many other countries around that time did the same thing. They had sort of a workers' rights movement where a lot of these laws and thoughts and ideas that there was this feeling that, hey, this is not ethical. You should, just because you're an employee doesn't mean that you should be treated in a way that's very harmful. Many countries passed laws that protected workers in various ways to make their lives a little bit better. Overtime laws, that's another one that I forgot. So I think that when you're thinking about, mistreating employees, it does depend on the circumstance, right? Like, there are some very dangerous professions in the United States still. I think people who work on telephone poles and logging and mining, and there are some really, really dangerous jobs, and that treating your employees well in that context, with OSHA violations and stuff, it's going to be a little different than treating your employees well if you're working in a call center or something. There are different issues at play. That said, when you're talking about the ethics of your employees, I think it is, again, just useful to remember that they are people. They should have autonomy to, at least in some capacity, be a human being and be treated with dignity and respect. They should be safe and free from harm, both emotional abuse and, of course, physical harm if you're in a physically dangerous workplace. I need 3 points because you always need 3 points. I think they should at least feel like they are not, if it's at all possible, make them feel that they are not just a cog in the machine and completely replaceable and expendable and just a statistic on a page. If you can actually treat, if a company can actually treat their employees like people and give them the, the reasons to be alive, the way, we wouldn't want, our beloved pets in a cage all day, every day, without being able to, determine what they want to do. I don't think don't treat your employees that way either. So I would take, when you're asking me about the ethics of companies treating their employees well, I would take it out of the context of work and let's just focus on just treat them like human beings. And I think you'll get 90% of the way there.